Okay, so today we have a dead battery, which is this APC RBC5, which came from a UPS. I believe it's a 1500. This poor guy's been sitting on the shelf for a couple years, unfortunately, and it came free. So we're going to measure, see what it ends up being, and we're going to take a look. So this guy is 1132. So it's flat, completely dead. The guy next to it, right here, is 12.95, which is a full battery by any measure. So our intent today is to take this new device, which I received in the mail. It's called an infinitum, and what it does is supposed to desulfocate, I guess, the sulfocation on the plate to shake them loose and restore whatever particles or elements back into the battery and hopefully revive the battery. So, skeptical. I've seen a few ads, seen a few videos. It's free, so let's take a look how it works. It says it should take 2 to 3 weeks. Whether or not it takes 2 or 3 weeks, I really can't say, but rest assured, we're going to try and see if it works. So basically what you gotta do is you take this device, you hook it in parallel to the battery, to the battery charger, and then hopefully in a couple weeks this thing should be restored, assuming it isn't too beyond dead. So hopefully with this serial number, this time in a couple weeks, it will be at 1295, and hopefully proof in the pudding will be if it actually holds a charge, because really the socket or state of charge is irrelevant. This thing could read 12 volts or what have you, but if you draw a current or a load on it and it's not able to sustain it for anything meaningful, say 30, 40 seconds or a minute duration, it's not worth your time. It's just you drop the voltage. Basically it's a surface voltage, but it doesn't give any meaningful work. You can't put an actual current for a long period of time. So we're going to see this time next couple weeks whether or not this battery, which is flat, let's see if we do this one hands, which is 11.32. So we'll get back to you guys in about 2 or 3 weeks, and we'll go from there, and I'll report back. So right now I'm just configuring it right now. I squished the 2 leads together just so I can put the other leads on there correctly without it falling apart. So I kind of squish them together. So they tell you that this battery must be at a certain voltage to start, even to do any type of meaningful work. So I think we're at the minimum. It has to be around like 11, 11 and a half. And this battery is at 11.23. So right now, as you can see, there's a red light right there. So it says no good, no good. So once we put in the charger, we're going to see what happens from there. So right now we got everything all hooked up. The battery's been hooked up in parallel to the Infinium. As you can see, it's a green light. So that's a good indicator, because it tells you if it's below the minimum threshold to recover, it will remain red. So I guess the battery was above the minimum threshold, therefore it's green. That means it's doing its pulse and hopefully shaking out all the suffocation off the plates. Whether or not it can do it, I don't know. So this is a manual dumb charger. It does have some electronics, so I might have to cycle it a few times, because you see this green light, it shows that the charge is complete. Ideally it should be above 14.7 volts to be above the charge of the battery. Otherwise it won't accept, it won't build up enough force to go inside of the battery and do its job and cycle up. As I've measured already, it's currently, I believe, 13 something, which is a floating charge. It's not actually a forward movement where it can push enough force or current, voltage in there to do any practical work. Let's see what it says right here. So this hunting that you see is atypically not a good sign. This means that the battery is trying to accept a charge, and it's all over the place. So that very often is not a good sign. Whether or not it stabilizes in the next hour thereabouts, we'll see. So it goes without saying, while doing this kind of stuff, safety and security is paramount. So it's not something you want to walk away from. As you can tell here, it's pretty much Mickey Mouse rigged. Kids, everybody else, water, everything else. You want to make sure everybody has safety and they are aware that this thing is live. Currently it shows it's something like, sorry for the light, drawing 9.2 watts on this meter. So we're going to see in the next hour or so while I eat dinner. Nothing explodes, there's no magic smoke, and I guess we'll go from there. And I'll return this time hopefully in 2 weeks and report back what the voltage is and whether or not it can actually do some work. So we'll put some loads, light bulbs, sirens, what have you, and it'll prove that it can not only take a charge but hold a charge and dispense it over a 20 hours period. And that's the minimum rating that you can perform. I believe this is like a 7.5 amp hour battery, and that's usually rated over a 20-hour period, that it can put out that minimum amount of current for 20 hours. So we'll go from there and verify that it can perform actual work. I mean, that's what it counts on, right? If you want this hooked up to something and you're expecting to give you X amount of run time and it gives you 2 seconds, not very meaningful. It's not helpful. So again, because this powers quite a few of my backup UPSs and they go to critical systems, I want to make sure that these batteries are top notch. But regardless whether this is it passes all these Mickey Mouse tests that I have, I actually won't be putting it in production because this is like underwear. You wear it out, you throw it away. It's not something you want to be relying upon in a critical system. So this is more meant for me, it's just to play with, what have you. And if it can light up some light bulbs or do something that's non-critical in nature, then hey, good to go, because they were free. So so was this device. So this is more of a review, and I'll report back. All right. So here we are. We're a couple days in. I just disconnected it. Sorry, I apologize. I got a pretty bad cold. Anyways, let's measure what we got. The suffocator's been unplugged for a few hours. I've taken off the surface charge with a load, just to make sure we had a somewhat accurate reading. Let's see if we can do this one hand. So for this battery, what do we have? We have a rock steady 12.34. Incredibly enough, it's taking a charge, it's holding. It's only been about 3 days since I started this desulfication. I think we might be in good shape. This is not, I am shocked. This thing is not bunk for what it cost. I believe if it brings this dead battery back to a working state, it might be a great value for people who want to maintain their batteries to ensure the health of the battery long term. So proof in the pudding will be that this battery, this time, I guess a few more days or a week, I check pretty much every day. If it comes back to 12.9 or thereabouts, which indicates it's a full battery, it can hold that voltage and perform actual work by putting it on a steady load for an extended period of time of 20 hours, then to me, that's a pass. But again, as I indicated, regardless of pass or fail, this battery will be placed in a non-mission critical situation, because I can't have my stuff not protected at any given point in time. So you guys can think about that kind of stuff. For me, that's the decision I've made, because I have a lot of important items that need to be protected 24/7, and I can't afford to have it go down during a power interruption. So without further ado, I'm going to put this guy back on the charger, and hopefully
We'll report back this time, I don't know, 3 more days and say it's a pass or a fail. But I will be doing a carbon pile load test to verify the integrity of the battery, that it can perform actual work and output enough steady current to do so. All right.